Okay, so this guy right here suggested that I repeat last week's Azumarill strategy, but with a slightly different twist. Naturally, this is the first suggestion that I've received from a subscriber, so I went through with it. And let me tell you, it was not easy. The first draft of this team is very different from the final product, and my initial testing went a little something like this. Let's see if you're able to spot the fatal flaw here. It was right there. Did you see it? If not, let me make it a little bit more obvious for you. For some reason, Aqua Jet procced the weakness policy, but it didn't pass over huge power like I'd expected. So I tested again, this time without Dynamaxing, and here's how it went. So I knew that when you use max moves, you don't make physical contact. For example, if you were to max Quake into something with a Rocky Helmet, you wouldn't take the Rocky Helmet damage because you're not making physical contact. But based on this testing, it seems that you don't make physical contact with the Dynamaxmon if you're attacking it as well. So I went to search that up, but to my dismay, there was absolutely no information that I could find anywhere online about this. And no, I didn't just click the first link and call it a day. I did do quite a bit of searching, but I'm not going to show you guys all of that, so I'm just going to show you this initial search right here that shows that there is no information about whether or not the moves make contact. So all that was left to do was to test it in-game just to make sure that there was nothing glitchy going on with Showdown, but upon testing it in-game, it seems that there was nothing wrong, and this is actually just the mechanics of the game. So it was back to the drawing board, and with an all-new team and an all-new strategy, let's go ahead and get on into the battles. What's going on, YouTube? Super Insane 18 here, and we are back with another episode of our Road to Ranked, and as you were able to tell by the intro, this is a very special episode. It is our first ever subscriber special. The strategy in question was suggested by the subscriber that you saw at the beginning of the video, so let's go ahead and jump on in. We have an Azumarill with the Citrus Berry, rocking Belly Drum, Helping Hand, Aqua Jet, and Play Rough. Now, its attack stat at level 50 is only 55, but with huge power, that's technically 110, and if we're able to get that Belly Drum off, it will go up to 440. So even though we have no attack investment and we're actually playing 0 IVs in attack, this Azumarill should be able to hit like a truck if we need it to. But this is paired with the star of the show, which is our Runargus, with the weakness policy, running Trick Room, Poltergeist, Earthquake, and Thief. The objective here is that we are going to Aqua Jet into the Runargus and give it a weakness policy boost, as well as transferring huge power, which hopefully is a very threatening strategy. Then we have a Glacier with the Assault Vest, rocking High Horsepower, Icicle Crash, Close Combat, and Heavy Slam. We have our Tapu Fini with the Leftovers, running Protect, Calm Mind, Muddy Water, and Moonblast. We have a Regieleki with the Magnet, running Protect, Thunderbolt, Electroweb, and Hyper Beam. And finally, we have our Celesteela with the Power Herb, running Protect, Meteor Beam, Air Slash, and Flamethrower. So let's get to that first battle. So this actually does look like a fairly good team to lead Azumarill Runargus against. Our opponent doesn't have anything that should just flat out destroy the Runargus. So we're going to lead with Azumarill and it, and then in the back, it looks like he has a very hard time dealing with the Glacier aside from the Incineroar, so we want to bring that in the back. And other than the Eliki, Tapu Fini actually looks pretty good, so we're going to go with that as well. So I think my opponent is going to lead the Excadrill and the Tyranitar. Now, we should, in theory, be able to live a Lash Out or a Crunch from the Tyranitar. It gets a little bit iffy if he doubles into us. But what we're going to try to do here is just Aqua Jet, set up the Trick Room, and then max and completely go off. Now, because we know from our testing that max Pokemon do not make contact, not only with their max moves, but also if a Pokemon that would make contact would hit it, we know that whatever we end up giving Wandering Spirit to, if we Aqua Jet into it or if they hit our Azumarill, can't give it back to us and steal our huge power at the very minimum until we're not maxed. So it feels pretty solid there. So let's go ahead and do that and set up the Trick Room. Now, barring him doubling into us, we should be able to live whatever this Tyranitar is going to do. And hopefully that will put us in a pretty good position. Okay, and the Tyranitar protects, which is really good for us. I guess he's afraid of the huge power liquidation. So we saw here that we switched targets, or we switched abilities with the target. We got our weakness policy, and the Excadrill goes for an Earthquake. That shouldn't do too much. Still does a little bit more than I'd like to see if I'm being 100% honest. But we got our Trick Room up. And then now I think I want to take out the Tyranitar first, if I'm being 100% honest. So let's Aqua Jet into the Excadrill. We know that it's Life Orb. And let's go ahead and Max Quake into the Tyranitar here. Barring a double protect, this should definitely take it out. And I'm actually surprised that our first game here ended up letting us get the setup as nicely as it did. Yeah, we took a little bit more damage than I would like to on the Runargus, but whatever. I mean, it honestly doesn't matter at this point. We're pretty well set up. Alright, so we're going to max. We don't know if he maxed yet because Trick Room is up, and I believe Runargus is the slowest thing on the field. Okay, so he does max. The question now is, what is he actually maxing? Because if it is the Excadrill, we could be in trouble. But it looks like it's the Tyranitar. So I think between weakness power, or weakness policy and huge power, this Earthquake should take it out. So we might have just completely blown away our opponent's Dynamax here. Doesn't do much on the Excadrill, which is fine. I didn't expect it to. Does this get the KO? Let's go! So we just completely blew back our opponent's Dynamax. And we should be in a very good position to win this game. Okay, he goes for the Iron Head. Does a decent amount of damage, but still doesn't take us out. And honestly, I'm not sure that I'm too threatened by the Excadrill anymore. Like, I think I just take out whatever he brings in, right? Yeah, okay, so we definitely take out this Incineroar. He's going to fake out the Azumarill, but we have Helping Hand. So Helping Hand, in theory, will counteract the Intimidate here. So we Helping Hand our Runargus, and then we just Max Quake into the Incineroar. And even if we go down to the Excadrill here, we're in a phenomenal position. Oh, he actually didn't even fake out. So he might just be going for like a Darkest Lariat trying to get rid of us. But I mean, at this point with the Intimidate, we're +1, huge power, with Helping Hand. Like, there's no way that you're living that Incineroar, I'm sorry. Alright, and then he goes for the Iron Head into our Azumarill. Yep, he was going for the Darkest Lariat into the Runerigus slot. So now, because that has Wandering Spirit, I'm worried that it might be able to pass it back to us. So we're going to go ahead and take out the Excadrill here. Let's Aqua Jet into the... into the Regieleki, and let's just go ahead and Quake into the Excadrill. And my opponent just forfeits, there's nothing he can do. So that is a phenomenal game 1 for the subscriber strategy. Let's go ahead and move on to our second game. So it looks like this could potentially be another Azumarill Runerigus lead. The only thing that's a little unfortunate is 3 of my opponent's Pokemon have the potential to completely blow it out. And that is the Lapras, the Rillaboom, and the Alolan Marowak. The Rillaboom is the least threatening, but the Marowak and the Lapras can definitely put a damper on my plan. Now, he does have Lightning Rod, which means Eleki is kind of on the back burner here. I think what I do here... Man, this is tough, actually. Man, what do I actually do? Let's not go for the ridiculous strats here. Let's just try to use Runerigus to set up the Trick Room. And... man, the Glastrier is kind of bad here, too. We're running out of time. Let's just go with the Wombo combo. We want to bring the Celesteela in the back for sure. And our last mon, we just have to go with the Glastrier. We're running out of time. Yeah, okay, let's give this a try here. So if we're able to get the Wombo combo, then awesome. If we're not, then what we could do is just Belly Drum and try to set up the Trick Room. Let's see what my opponent leads. Okay, so he sends out Lapras Heatran. Lapras Heatran's definitely interesting. So, and that just said Air Balloon, right? Can we see if it's Air Balloon? No, we can't, but I'm pretty sure it just said Air Balloon. Man. Let's do this, actually. We can't max and give ourselves the huge power, but we can just Helping Hand and Poltergeist into the Heatran. Well, at this point it would be Max Phantasm. That looks like it's a max on the Lapras. Yep. Okay, so he's going to go for the Resonance, most likely. Going and setting up his screens. But we're lowering the attack on him. The fact that he maxed, he didn't go for anything stupid like Freeze Dry into our Azumarill. So, potentially, depending on how much his Resonance does to us, we get to activate our Weakness Policy, we get to break the Air Balloon on the Heatran, and we might be able to just Belly Drum on our next turn. Okay, so the Heatran goes for Protect. That's fine. I really only want to break your Air Balloon. I'm not worried about killing you this turn. Goes for the Resonance into the Runerigus. It does do less than half. So the fact that it does less than half means that we're okay to... well, no, because he's just going to Geyser now, and Geyser should get the KO. Okay. So... I think we protect here, right? We protect Belly Drum. Yeah, that feels good to me. Because then he'll Geyser into the Runerigus. I think he's just going to try to kill the Runerigus here. I'd be very surprised if he goes for that much into... Okay, so the Azumarill doesn't get that much. He just goes for a Resonance again. Interesting. That is very interesting. So we get our Belly Drum off. Our Citrus Berry is going to activate, and then here we just Aqua Jet, right? There's no reason not to just Aqua Jet into this Heatran. So let's Aqua Jet into the Heatran, and we know that we live the Resonance, so I think we just go for another Phantasm, because this is our strongest. Well, actually, what's stronger? Phantasm? Yeah, Phantasm's stronger, so we go for Phantasm into the Lapras. Now, he could protect here and take out the... Okay, he doesn't protect. So, huge power Belly Drum. This will take out the Heatran, 100%. And then now, as long as we live this Resonance, we're actually in a decent position. Ah, unfortunately we don't. Looks like it might have been a low roll on the last one. But the Lapras is low defense. Just because we were able to get it with the Phantasm on the first turn. So we can go for Glastrier and close combat. He does still have his Resonance up though, so I'm a little more inclined to Celesteela. Let's go ahead and go with the Celesteela. Alright, and he goes for the Rillaboom. He's going to be faster than us, unfortunately. Just because this is a minimum speed Azumarill. So Azumarill is going to go down here. I have no choice. So what I want to do with that is I want a Helping Hand because it should be higher priority than Grassy Glide. And if I Helping Hand my Celesteela and Air Slash into the Rillaboom, that should take out the Rillaboom, and then we'll get a special attack boost. Oh, Rillaboom went for the Protect. Very interesting. Lapras goes for the Thunderbolt, taking out our Azumarill. Okay. I can understand that. I'm not upset. I still think because the Glastrier is the one in the back, that we're in a very good position. So let's go ahead and just Icicle Crash into the Rillaboom. And Meteor Beam into the Lapras. Definitely a good play on my opponent. I would not have expected the Protect on the Rillaboom. I was expecting either a Fake Out or a Grassy Glide. So kudos to my opponent here. Let's see what my opponent decides to do, though. He could maybe go for the double Protect. Okay, he doesn't. He goes for the Wood Hammer. That does a lot more than I want it to. I'm not gonna lie. That does a lot more than I want it to. Meteor Beam comes out. Can we connect? If we can connect, it should do good damage. He does still have the Resonance up, but... Okay, we do connect. So, +1 special attack, super effective into Lapras. Unfortunately, just shy of taking it out. We land the Icicle Crash. This will take out the Rillaboom. And then now we kind of have to play a bit of a prediction game. It's 2v2. My Mon are not in the best position. So what does my opponent have in the back? Okay, it's actually the Marowak, which surprisingly is good for us. It means that the Lapras is not able to go for Thunderbolt anymore into our Celesteela. So I think I'm faster than the Marowak. We have to kind of bank on a flinch here to take out the Lapras. Okay, we're not even faster. So the question is, who did he go for? He went for the Glastrier. That's going to take the Glastrier out. I'm surprised that the Alolan Marowak is actually faster than us. He does go for the Thunderbolt, not realizing that he can't under Lightning Rod. Is this enough to take it out? It's enough to take it out, and because of where we are health-wise, I think we live a Thunderbolt. Unless he got another low roll on that first one. If he didn't get a low roll on the first one, if that was like a mid to... Well, no. Where we are, I don't think we live it, actually. Yeah, we're not in a good position. Here's hoping. So he goes for the Thunderbolt. We don't live it, and unfortunately, that's just how it comes down to it. Still played a really good game. I think the tides would have been turned if we played the turn where the Rillaboom protected a little bit differently, but let's go on and jump into the third game. So this is a very threatening team, actually. I don't think we can do the Runerigus Wombo combo here just because the Moltres is absolutely horrifying. The Rotom Wash can be just as scary. I think what we have to do here is lead with Eliki Glastrier and max the Glastrier. So we lead the Eliki Glastrier. We don't really have much for his Metagross, unfortunately. Well, no, we've got the Flamethrower on the Celesteela, so as long as we can get to that point, we should be fine. And then for our final mon, Tapu Fini feels really good. Just as a generic kind of spot here. Let's go ahead and go with the Tapu Fini as our last. Unfortunately, not the best game to bring the Azumarill Runerigus, but, you know, we still want to try to win. We're not just going to showcase a combo that's going to lose us the game. We got it on our first game, which was phenomenal, so hopefully that's good enough for the subscriber that recommended this. But we'll see how this plays out. So my opponent leading Gallade and Rotom, which is pretty interesting. To me, it feels like we just Electroweb, and honestly, Max Hailstorm into the Gallade. What I'm hoping is that the Gallade will do something like hit us with a fighting move. Well, no, because we're not Weakness Policy on this Glastrier. Never mind, I'm so used to playing Weakness Policy Glastrier. So we don't want that. But I'm hoping that this Hailstorm's enough to take it out. Because he didn't max. The fact that Glastrier maxed first means that he did not. Gallade actually goes for Protect, which, interesting. Definitely interesting. We go for the Electroweb. We connect on the Rotom. Oh, the Rotom might actually try to Will-O-Wisp us now that I think about it. I wasn't thinking about that. So he goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Yep. A little bit unfortunate. Not too worried, though. What I think I do here is... Actually, what do I do here? I was thinking of Electrowebbing again and hitting the Rotom to try and get an attack boost. But honestly, I don't know if that's enough. I might just want to take the Rotom out flat out with like a Thunderbolt. And then Man, no. Okay. Let's do this. Because I can counteract my burn if I do it right. So let's Knuckle into the Rotom after another Electro Web. If the Rotom is Citrus Berry, I don't know if this kills, honestly. He withdrew the Rotom anyway, so it doesn't really matter. He goes into the Metagross, which is an interesting play. So we get the Electro Web off. He goes for a Brick Break into the Eliki slot, which is interesting. And then we get a Knuckle off, which will be neutral into the Metagross. That does actually nothing. Okay. So where does that leave us? I think that leaves us Thunderbolting into the Metagross slot. Yeah, let's Thunderbolt into the Metagross slot. And I kind of want to raise my defense, but I also kind of just want to go for the KO. So I have to go for the Hailstorm here. He protects again. He still doesn't max. He's just trying to play out of my max. Does this Thunderbolt take the Metagross out, though? The Electro Ball did a good amount. Okay, so we get to take out the Metagross. Unfortunately, we pretty much wasted our max. But I think we're okay, if I'm being honest. Because my opponent's playing a weird game where he's not maxing. Like, if anything, that was the turn to max. That was the turn to max your Metagross and Steel Spike into my Glacier. Unless you're afraid of the weakness policy, which, I mean, is definitely something to be afraid of, there's no reason for you to not max the Metagross there. Like, are you saving it for your Rotom? Are you trying to max the Rotom instead? Because, like, now I think I just Thunderbolt the Rotom, and that's game. I mean, we still don't know what my opponent's fourth Mon is. But we've KO'd one of them. The Gallade is as good as KO'd, and the Rotom just, unless it maxes, goes down to a Thunderbolt. So I'm definitely confused what my opponent's game plan is here. Let's just go ahead and Thunderbolt the Rotom again, and we're going to Icicle Crash the Gallade. I think he's going to max the Rotom here, which feels bad. Like, I think with the state that his team is in... Okay, so he does max the Rotom. With the state that his team is in, it's probably better for him to just max whatever his last Mon is. I guess this prevents the Thunderbolt from taking him out. And then he's probably Citrus Berry, so he probably KOs both of my Mon here. Gallade attempts a double Protect. Gallade should have just gone for the Glacier here. 100%. So he Geysers into the Eliki, and he wasn't Citrus Berry, so is he Life Orb, maybe? I don't know, we're going to take out the Glacier. Okay, so it is Life Orb. Huh. Glacier goes down. Wait, no, Gallade goes down. Ignore me, I'm stupid. And then we just bring in the Finny and protect it, right? Oh man, okay, now I have a decision to make. Can a burned neutral Icicle Crash take out Landorus? Let's go ahead and protect with the Finny. And I want to be greedy for it. It's 4 times weak. I feel like this takes it out. So he goes for the Earthquake. That shouldn't do too much. Glastrier is very tanky. Does a little bit more than I want. Yep, we see the Max Lightning into the Finny, which is exactly what I expected. And then as long as we land this, I think we're golden. He's going to take some damage from his Life Orb, which is perfectly fine by me. And then the Icicle Crash connects, is a burned neutral Icicle Crash, enough to take out a Landorus. It is. And now my opponent's as good as done. He can't hit both of these Pokemon, and he probably goes down to his Life Orb anyway. So, definitely a horrible, horrible game for my opponent. He played almost entirely wrong, if you ask me. He would have been much better suited holding the Max for his Landorus. So here, we're just going to Moonblast. We don't want to risk the accuracy, and we're just going to close combat. He can't take out both. We're faster anyway. The Moonblast takes it out, and that seals our Game 3. So we won 2 of the 3. Definitely a fun team. Let's go ahead and take a look at the team preview. And here you guys have the rental code for this team. It's definitely a fun team. Honestly, the gimmick is meh at best. Sorry, but it's just true. It's very hard to pull off, and it was very hard to figure out a way to play around it. I'm just happy that I was able to bring you guys more than one win. We ended with a positive ratio in this episode. So, as always, make sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see your suggestion in an episode just like this one, make sure to comment down below, and I will do my best to work out something with it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.